Hi, I'm Kathy Lindberg. I'm a board-certified music therapist and the owner of Melisma Music Therapy Services in Ohio. And this is day 3 on a series I'm doing this week on connection with dementia using instruments. So I want to start with a little bit of a story this morning. A friend of mine posted a video on my timeline. It was a video of Ashley Campbell, who is Glenn Campbell's daughter. Most of you might know that Glenn Campbell was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease at least a year ago. I'm not exactly sure when. But she had written a song about her father, and it was an interview. It looked like she was on a television show where she was sharing a song that she had written for her father and talking a little bit about the disease process with him. The song really spoke to my heart because in her lyrics, she talked about how he taught her how to write music, and he taught her how to sing and create music with him. And now that the disease process has taken its toll on his memory, he's no longer able to do that, and oftentimes can't even remember who she is. So in the lyrics, she talks about it's okay that he can't remember because she's going to do the remembering for him. And it spoke to me. It was a good reminder of how powerful music can be, especially the songwriting process, where music just is a great way to express how we feel. But a lot of people don't have the formal training to write music, don't feel that they are songwriters. And watching that video this morning really brought out in my mind was that in this series that I'm doing with you, it's not about perfection. It's not even about formal music training or songwriting training. I really want to share with my audience that music and just creating a sound and using, in this case, instruments, it's about creating a shared experience with those people that you're working with. It isn't about writing the perfect song. It isn't about creating the perfect melody. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be about creating a melody at all. And the instruments that I'm going to show you today are simple rhythm instruments where they're not a melodic instrument. There is no melody to be created at all. These particular instruments are about creating a shared experience with the person that you're working with. It's about creating a sound, and in the case of these 3 instruments, it's also about sharing a texture with the people that you're working with. Now, in Alzheimer's disease, as the disease progresses, one of the things that I work on with my clients that is an important goal when you're working to keep them connected with their world and the people in their world is providing sensory stimulation for them. And that can include oral stimulation. I've talked about that in a couple of the previous series that I did. It can also be a tactile stimulation, just bringing them into reality for the moment of the shared experience and bringing them into contact with the things in their world, and in this particular case, with the instruments that they're using. So the first instrument that I brought today is called an ocean drum. And this one is a large one, and you can sort of see that it's a fish or an ocean scene. It's a fabric on this side of the drum that is sort of a rough feeling fabric, although it's not painful to the touch. And so this side of the drum provides one type of tactile stimulation, and using this drum with somebody can be as easy as simply rubbing their hand across the fabric, allowing them to feel the texture, but also listening to the sound that makes. So let's listen for a minute. We can also tap it. Okay. Then, if I turn the drum over, I've got a clear plastic that's got a completely different feel to it. And actually, my hands are a little wet, so it's making a noise. But it's a completely different feel on this side of the drum. And if we tap this, it gives a different sound. Now in the ocean drum, I'm going to do my best. I hope you can, I don't know if you can see this. There's a terrible reflection, which I apologize for. But there are metal beads in this drum. And one of the reasons that they call this the ocean drum is that when you play it by, I'm going to hold it horizontally, and I'm going to tip it from side to side, and I'm going to let the metal beads pass from one side of the drum to the other, and it is supposed to recreate the sound of ocean waves. So I'm gonna play this for a minute or so, and I want you to just listen and see if you think that it sounds like ocean waves. And all I'm doing is tipping back and forth. You can also move it around in a circle. If you wanted a more violent sound, you could tip it faster. Okay, so the ocean drum, it's not only providing different sounds for tapping and moving those beads, but also lots of different textures with this instrument. The next instrument I have is called a Rainstick. Now, Rainsticks come in a wide variety of sizes. I've seen some really large ones. This Rainstick's a little bit easier to manage. Okay, now what this is it's a piece of dried cactus, and so it's very hard. It's hollow inside, but it provides its own texture for the person who's playing it. And then there's you can see this is sort of a soft cloth gripper that feels completely different from the cactus itself. Now a Rainstick has something inside of it. I don't know if they're metal beads as well, but when you turn it over, it's supposed to sound like rain. So listen to this for a minute. So this instrument, not only do you get an aural stimulation and a tactile stimulation, but this is a good instrument to work on eye-hand coordination, as well as just some movement of wrists and hands and arms. I really like the sound of that. Okay, now the third instrument I have today is called the thunder drum. It looks like this. It is a hollow tube with a metal spring tail attached to it. Again, if you're doing tactile stimulation things with people, it's the difference between a smooth feel of the tube and that sort of rough feel of the spring. Now, a thunder drum, when you shake it, is supposed to sound like thunder. Listen. Now, one of the activities I like to do with groups of people is I take the thunder drum and I take the Rainstick and we create thunderstorms. And I've done this in groups where creating the thunderstorm, we have a discussion about times in the past where people have been in rainstorms, thunderstorms, maybe they were kids at the time, and do they like thunderstorms? Are they afraid of the thunder and lightning and the rain? Do they enjoy the rain? Some people find it relaxing. I remember when I was a little girl, I don't remember how old I was, maybe 5, and I can remember my mom taking me to my bedroom window during a thunderstorm once and showing me that it could be fun to watch the lightning as opposed to being afraid of the sound of the thunder and then the flashes of lightning. She actually showed me how beautiful it was for the thunder and the lightning to light up the sky, and I got to a point where I enjoyed watching thunderstorms as opposed to being afraid of them. So in a group situation, so I've taken these 2 instruments and we've created thunderstorms, and I'm going to do a mini thunderstorm for you here. So usually we start with the rain, and maybe we start with a gentle rain first, and then maybe we get more violent, and then we add some thunder. So the other thing is sometimes if I've got flashlights or I've got a large enough group, we'll turn out the lights, and I provide flashlights or some type of lighting to various residents, and then they can provide the lightning as well. And I've had some fun experiences with creating thunderstorms in a group situation. So the thunder drum and the Rainstick and the ocean drum are just 3 instruments that I have for you today. And what I want you to take away from this video, again, like I said before, is that it's not about creating the perfect song or even the perfect melody. In fact, these didn't have any melody at all. It was about creating sound, creating a shared experience with the people that I'm working with, and providing sensory stimulation on various levels for people. There are a wide variety of rhythm instruments out there. I'm going to show you a few more on Friday, I believe. And I want you to have fun with instruments. No matter which instrument you choose to use with folks, it's about exploration. It's about letting your guard down and your preconceived notions of what it means to make music. It's about creating shared experiences and letting your inner creativity come out in sound and music and instruments. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today. I'll be back tomorrow at noon with a different instrument for you. Before I leave you, I want to remind you that I do have a free resource that I am created for you. It's a caregiver's guide on using music with Alzheimer's and dementia folks. You can find it at my website, which is www.melismamusictherapy.com/free. And, you know, I created the resource because I really want to share my knowledge and my passion for using music to connect with people who have Alzheimer's and dementia. And I know I've experienced the power of music and its ability to reach folks when so many of their cognitive abilities are declining. And I've seen it. I've seen people come alive through music and music therapy. And I want to share that with as many people as I can. So if you know somebody who would enjoy these videos, please, I ask you to share with them. I appreciate all the shares, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with yet another instrument.